Canvas Graphics is a graphic design vehicle that comes with an unlimited amount of premium designs from a senior level designer who is hungry to give you work that is creative, stylish, and all yours. All with a cool pause feature that lets you stretch your cash while your work happens in a flash. So come through and book a test drive. Let's see if you qualify.
Dumelang Sanbonani, what the heck is going on? My name is Rapture Lisonolo Tuwili from Canvas Graphics, and I am passionate about creating timeless designs. And today, I want to talk to you about the 3 things that your logo must have. Right. Now, the first thing that your logo must have is functionality. That is, how does your logo function in different situations, right? Now, how we usually cater to this is we give you a logo that has various layouts. And what I mean by layouts is the first one we'll give you is the original or the long form logo, which is basically used mostly for all the official stuff that your brand may need to appear in, like your letterheads or your email signatures. This is a really good place to use this logo. And also, since it's the original, it's also a really good one to use for like brand awareness activities, especially when you're still like new, to introduce your customers to your brand. The second format that we would give you, or rather the second layout we would give you, is the short form or the stacked layout, which is how I would like to call it anyway. Now, that one is basically used to replace the long form or the original logo wherever it may not fit, right? This one's actually usually great for things like your business cards or your t-shirt prints. That's when you want to use that kind of logo. Also a really good one for like brand awareness. The third one that we give you is basically the emblem or the logo mark. This one is basically for any subtle branding that you want to use or that you want to do. A good example of this would be on your website, that favicon, that thing at the top of the different windows that you'd be browsing in, so you can tell that this is that website and this is that website. So that logo that appears there is what we call a favicon or favicon. I don't know, tomato. But that is how you would then use the logo mark. The second thing that your logo needs is adaptability. Now that is, how does it adapt to the different situations in which it could be placed in? For instance, now how we would usually cater to this is by giving you a logo that comes in various formats. The first format would be the JPEG. Now the JPEG is the sort of original logo in the sense that it's just a picture. It's great to look at. Really nothing else I would suggest this particular format gets used for, but there are some printers who apparently use JPEGs to print. Personally, I don't trust them because of the limited size that the JPEG has. What I mean by limited size is that it cannot be stretched indefinitely without pixelating. Which brings me to the second one. The second format is a PNG. So a PNG is different to a JPEG in that it is transparent, so it has no background. So for instance, if this is the JPEG, right? This is the JPEG and this is the PNG. So you can see how on the JPEG, the background is still there, right? So the background of the JPEG is still there, which means, you can't basically see through what's happening or see behind what's happening on the background. For me, it looks kind of tacky, as opposed to the PNG, which, is transparent. You can still see the background here, and that is basically how it works. Now, how we use PNGs is basically for all your branding materials. So when you need marketing done, if this is a flyer and we put this JPEG on it, it looks tacky. Whereas this is a flyer and we put the PNG on it, it works. See? So that's how the PNG and the JPEG differ. Cool. The third format that we would give you is the PDF. Now, the PDF is special in that it's the one we want to use for printing, because when you use a PDF for printing, it can be stretched indefinitely, right? So it will never pixelate. Doesn't matter how far you stretch it, essentially. We call this vector-based art. So you want a PDF format of all your logo variations to exist, because you might need it on a billboard, for instance, and you can't use a JPEG or a PNG for those because they will pixelate. Those are limited in file size, while PDF is not. The third thing that you want your logo to have is color variation or a color palette. Now, this just makes sure that your logo is visible regardless of where it is put. So the variations of these colors needs to be from your original colors. That's the first one. That's basically the ones that you chose originally, how you would actually like your brand to be represented, whether it's the yellow because it's energetic or the red because it's passionate, all of those things. There's also color psychology to these things. So you might have used that. Those are the original colors that you use for your logo. And then there are the dark ones, or the dark mode of your logo. This one is basically to be used if you need your logo to be put on, let's say, something light. So if it's something white or bright, you might want to use the dark mode or the dark color variations of your logo, or the black one. Obviously, just to create really good contrast so that it is nicely visible from far even. And then the third one would obviously then be the light or the white color variations of your logo, which are used for putting on darker backgrounds to make sure, yet again, that your contrast is really good. So clearly, the principles of design are always playing a role in whatever that we do design. Like we have just now mentioned things like contrast. So if you are keen on knowing more about those kind of things, you can actually check out more of my content on the TikTok page and any of my socials, really. And with that said, if your logo does not have one or some of these things, you might be in need of canvas graphics. I will let you decide though. I am only a button away. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp or any of these socials, really. I'll be happy to help you out, making sure that your brand has all these capabilities so that it can best represent itself. And if you're keen on more timeless tips, please like, share, save, and follow for more of these timeless tips. Until next time, hala back and